Guys, welcome back to Wrenchin' Redneck. Holy smokes, has it been a hot minute since I've been on the channel. And with all good reason. Things have been absolutely great. I will just say that to start with. Second of all, we had a kid in January, and that was kind of the main reason that I've been away from the channel. With the new kid, the new puppy, the business has been just busy as hell. I mean, we went from like 3 guys to 8 guys now. So it's been just quite a change at the shop. We've been doing a ton of improvements around the shop, getting more organized. We got another shop, actually, to another 50 by 40. This little hound running around me here. The most energetic pup ever. She's like 6 months old. Purebred German Shorthair Pointer we got for hunting. And then the usual case. This dog can literally run every hour of the night and not even slow down once. We've taken her hunting a couple times, so she's in training, but yeah, other than that, things have been wild. I've been wrenching still, every bit of free time I possibly can with the shop and everything else going on. But I just figured, you know, I want to touch base with you guys since it's been so long. I just absolutely miss doing videos. And every day I think about it. But you know, a man's only got so much time in the day. Maybe at the end of this video, I can kind of throw in some clips that we've done videoing with the limo and some other things. We've done a lot more with that car since the last time it's been on the channel. We've taken it to the off-road park. We drove it down the highway. We got the thing fully licensed and insured now, which I don't know how it's possible, but I pulled it off. So let's start with that. Let's talk about the limo. Ah, yes, the limo in all her glory. As far as upgrades, I don't believe I have done too much other than about 5 minutes ago I tightened the brake line because I just realized it was leaking. But we officially have this thing running and driving really nice. We've taken it down the road. I've done 60 miles an hour with it. Super sketchy when I did. We took it to the Jeep off-road event in Cambridge, Iowa. And we ended up driving it there. It was super sketchy. And the whole time, you know, on my way there, I'm like, oh, it's the giant tires and it's drive shafts that aren't welded properly and whatnot. Well, turns out like 2 months later, I realized that these tires, if they have like 0 PSI in them, they still look just like this, which now they have 40 pounds of pressure in them. And they can go up to 95. So I just filled them up to 45, took it down the road, and I'm not even lying. You can hold the steering wheel just dead straight and the thing cruises down the highway at 60 miles an hour, believe it or not. So some upgrades we got for it this winter actually is I got a new aluminum Edelbrock intake, we got a cam, we got a stall converter. I actually picked up some military axles for it too, as some 613 gears, I believe is what they are, deuce and a half axles. So I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of swapping the axles because it needs some more gear. And I'm telling you, the way this gearing plus the tire size, this car would still do 100 miles an hour down the road if you had a death wish. So the 613 gears for what we're doing, I don't plan on taking this car down the highway and making it a daily driver. Yes, I'd love to kind of, you know, gravel travel it, you know, to town and whatnot, but we're talking about speeds of 30 to 45 mile an hour max that I ever plan to do with it. So yeah, other than that, pretty much motor upgrades this year. I'll go ahead and throw a couple videos in here now of doing some truck pulling, and I will throw in some videos of us at the off-road park so you guys can check that out. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed those clips of the limo out there having some fun. And that pretty much leads us to now. So I've kind of dropped all my projects, and it's snowmobile season. So we got the garage completely packed with John Deere snowmobiles. If you guys follow Junkyard Digs at all, you've seen that we did the vintage snowmobiles last year in Wisconsin. And just ever since, I have become the biggest John Deere snowmobile fan. Now, I can't say much about their tractors. I don't know anything about them, but their snowmobiles, I have a lot of fun on them. They're awesome. And the biggest thing is my vintage snowsuit that I had. Got so many compliments on it. I immediately went to eBay and bought the vintage snowsuit to match this beauty. Now, this one's going to be the wife's rig. The suit fits her perfect. And this year we're taking the wives with us, so the fact that I'm going to have the matching suit to my Trailfire and she's going to have the matching suit to the Liquefier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have been wrenching on snowmobiles for the last 4 weeks, just trying to get everyone prepared. Rule of thumb with vintage snowmobile riding, always have a backup. And bring spare fuel filters. That's what... That's probably my biggest task here is, I don't know how many John Deere snowmobiles I have, but I've been pulling the gas tanks on every one. So most of these sleds I've been picking up for a couple $100 have been sitting for a number of years. And the biggest thing is you can replace the fuel line up to here to your fuel pump. But the problem is there's a gasket here and there's another chunk of fuel line in the tank with a little metal screen. And essentially what happens is the fuel line disintegrates inside that tank, falls all around. Sure, you fill up the tank, fuel's gonna come out, but you could run into issues, which that's what I'm having with that Spitfire, I believe, is where chunks of the old line will start clogging up the fuel line, getting your fuel filter, and kind of just cause all kinds of random problems. So this year, I'm pulling every single tank, and they're all plastic, so I've been using acetone in them to kind of clean out the varnish and get the old fuel out. And I've literally just cleaned this tank out, and there was so much old oil sitting on the bottom of that tank just gumming out. And probably 2 handfuls of old fuel line. I bet somebody's replaced the line multiple times and just kept leaving the old one in there without getting it out. But, so yeah, that's kind of the position we're at. We're cleaning fuel tanks. We're also cleaning the clutches on a lot of these because they've been getting lots of surface rust. Yeah, it drives around fine, but I just want to go through the correct maintenance, clean that up. A couple of them have some leaky gaskets there. Replacing the crank seals on them since it's probably hasn't been done in a number of years. And if you know anything about snowmobiles, crank seals are very important. Once those start dry rotting and leaking, you can wean the motor out and blow it up. If you want to learn about motors, first of all, get a snowmobile. It's terrible advice, but they are so easy to work on, it's ridiculous. And this full engine gasket kit right here for this little 340, $30. I think like actually $26 I paid for that. And I paid like $12 or $13 for new piston rings because this motor was actually locked up. Turns out, cylinders look fine. I'm not too concerned about those. Clearly, a little difference there. One was firing and one wasn't. But the bottom end of this had so much mouse nest that it's just gonna have to be completely tore apart. But so for example, it's like 4 bolts. The jug's head comes off the piston here. I'm waiting on a clutch puller to get this one off. That's the current state of this project. But they are just very, very simple. There's no timing chains, no valves to adjust. Nothing like this. And this one's even air cooled, so it's simpler yet compared to the liquefiers being liquid cooled. So you got a little bit more disassembly time on those. But so yeah, with that being said, let's finish tearing this down as far as I possibly can. I gotta pull the steering, finish pulling the track off underneath, and get this thing completely tore down and ready for sandblasting. Motor should come out. It's my first one ever, so we'll see. Yep. There she be. Not everywhere. I'm sure I'll figure out where those go. Those honestly look pretty damn good for sitting for how many years? Alright. There's our track. There we go. Well, there she is. She destroyed my garage in 10,000 pieces, but we're finally down to the bare chassis. Pretty much the only thing that could come off now at this point is that bar, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. It's going to be basically an original restoration. Obviously, I'm going to have some updated stuff on it, just because you can't get everything for these, but you can get a lot of replacement parts for these sleds, which I have most of everything already, so we're pretty much good to go. So we're gonna get this loaded up in the truck, head to the blaster there, gonna sneak that into the basement, don't tell the wife, and rebuild that down in the basement. Since I got a nice table down there, I can just kind of lay everything out. It's just an absolute disaster after this. Thank you guys for checking out the kind of projects we got going on here. It's just been hectic with snowmobiles for the most part, and again, I apologize, it's been months since we posted, but shit happens. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. I hope to get videos posted about every 3 weeks, that way we can let you guys know what we're doing. Plus, half the time I tear stuff down one night, you gotta order stuff, it takes a week to even get the parts in, and then you forget parts and it's another week. It's just a roller coaster when you're restoring something, essentially. So, alright guys, talk to you later. Peace.